Ladies and gentlemen, this is our only new movie release for the year, and it's Headset Crew Chief Lightning McQueen. So, there's a lot to talk about with this guy. First off, the name. Why did you have to call him that? You could have just called him Crew Chief Lightning McQueen Headset. I just think Headset Crew Chief Lightning McQueen is like extremely clunky, and all the translations, it just gets really messy, especially over there. So, that's one complaint I have. The other complaint I have is the other coach he's paired with, Rusty's Cruz, which again, it makes sense. Until you realize that she's in a 5-pack this year, and she was released as a single last year. Now, granted, this is a new made in China variant of Rusty's Cruz. The one I have here is from old China, and the one from last year was Thailand. So they were slightly different, but this one is going to look a lot more similar to the Thailand version. So yeah, I mean, I would have preferred if they have done track damage Cruz because, I mean, it wasn't released not too long ago, and I think it was in 2021 when that item came out, and I think pairing it up with this McQueen would have been so cool, but they didn't do that. And my third complaint, no new for 2026 logo. Mattel, this is new. You should have put that on the packaging. I mean, the expanded universe stuff and the 20th anniversary items get that, but I guess not him. Whatever. But that's pretty much where my complaints end because this guy on his own, he's amazing. He was actually canceled back in 2019 alongside Fabulous Lightning McQueen headset. And with Mattel continuing the trend of uncanceling a call each year, starting in 2020, we finally got this guy. So that is pretty cool. And he's kind of like I wouldn't say he's the saving grace of the 2026 mainline because it's still, quite frankly, abysmal. But, for a while there, it looks like we weren't going to get any new releases from the movies. It was just going to be Race to Celebrate, the newest expanded universe subline and the mainline, and the 20th anniversary items to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the first Cars movie. So, yeah, it wasn't looking too good for new movie releases, but thankfully, this guy came in and graced us with his presence, and so that's cool. We have a new movie release. Now, granted, I would have wanted more. Like, you still could have done, Thomas for Cruz Ramirez. I mean, you have the mold here. Just take off those decals and just swap out the wheels, and you pretty much have that one. They could have done the Kingwood headset. I mean, granted, it wasn't canceled, but that's some of the headset variant they could do, especially since you're doing a lot of the normal King already. So just grab one of those, slap on a headset, and maybe change the expression. Bam, you got yourself a new release right there. But you know what? I'm getting way too diverted into this video. 2 minutes is already long enough. Let's take a look at the car itself. So as you can see, we have both of the nice artworks, and we get to see Crossing McQueen with headsets artwork. It is just normal McQueen with the headset photoshopped on, which is pretty good. I mean, I will say it's a good Photoshop. Rusty's Cruz Ramirez, of course. The diecast itself. And oh yeah, one more thing. They are actually updating the packaging in the 2-packs and singles. And actually, I'll put a picture on the screen. But in the very next case, with the Race to Celebrate stuff, they're actually going for a new packaging design. So it'll have like the Colorado County mounted on the sides. And the names, rather than being below the artwork, they'll actually be on the sides too. So, yeah, it's going to be really cool to see. So, yeah, this is pretty much the last time you'll see Red Riders. And because this 2-pack is also getting reissued in that new style of packaging. So, that's pretty cool. As seen in Cars 3, good job, Mattel, that is correct. And we see the other 2-pack from the movie, Jim Wevick and Spikey Phillips, which has been pick warming out of everybody's butt. Every time I go to Target, I see these two, and then I see the Jeff and Pat 2-pack, which I ideally should have been in there because Pat's a Cars 3 release, even though Jeff is in the wrong page up, but whatever. So yeah, Target have unfortunately not gotten in case, at least my Target hasn't. They're still stuck with that case, but you know what did get that case? HEB, which is where I found this pack. It had one of this, and it also had the King and Roger 2-pack. No Red and Guido, but I mean, I didn't really care about them anyway, so this is what I was really looking forward. And we can see the 2-pack we're holding. And we can see Headset Crew Chief McQueen's artwork. I'm going to call him something. I'm not going to call him that because it's just so clunky. But I'm probably just going to call him Crew Chief Lightning McQueen. I think that's so cool. But yeah, we get to see Crew Chief Lightning McQueen's artwork. It's pretty cool. I'm missing a couple details, but it's a prototype, so it doesn't always match up with the final diecast. Yeah, that's an old stock image of Crew. It hasn't been used ever since 2017, I think. And yeah, that about does it for the packaging. And I'll be right back with Crew Chief Lightning McQueen all opened up. Alright, so here's Crew Chief Lightning McQueen and Rusty's Cruz out of the package. And I gotta say, they look great, especially Creature from McQueen. I love that expression. So good. So actually, we're gonna like take a look at him first. We'll take a look at Wesley Cruz in the end, but we want to get this guy. So pretty cool. But let's actually show where he appeared in Cars 3. Of course, he's doing the final race, and he basically takes over as crew chief from Smokey to coach Cruz and to how to win the race from Storm, just like Doc did for him in the first movie. So it's a really nice full circle moment. You know, when the student became the teacher. I think it's such a cool moment for McQueen. Of course, a lot of us would have preferred if he had won the Florida 500, but honestly, I think this was a great step for the movie. I think this was a really great scene. That's cool. Very cool. Let's take a look at the diecast now, shall we? As you can see, he does have his very determined expression, and it's great. It's pulled straight out of the movie. It looks like it, at least, because with his eyes burrowed in, he's like locked in, telling Cruz what to do. Basically, I think that's really good. It's better than the normal expression we've had for Carson McQueen for a while now. This is the old China variant of him. That's why he looks a little beat up, but yeah, I love this expression. Now the mouth is the same, which I'm fine with because the eyes are just so good. I love the eye expression on this guy. We have the Rusty's logo on this hood, which is actually a little smaller, and it's not as yellow as the old China variant. So interesting thing to note, we do have his lucky lightning bolts in a gray color versus a more light gray. Here we have his headlights here. And another thing they added, the yellow trim on his rims, which is accurate. Every McQueen diecast should have it. He had only a couple do, like the Hudson Horn Piston Cup McQueen has it. Rusty's McQueen from the beginning of Course 3 has it. But yeah, the regular Course 3 McQueen never got that, so I don't know why they added it here on this headset variant, but I guess they wanted to go all out with this new movie release, since it would be pretty much the only one we would be getting, which I can respect that, because it adds such a nice detail to McQueen. Now, those contingency sponsors, Piston Cup Octane, RPM, Revolting, and Clutch Aid, they don't not look great on this headset version, like, especially Octane Gain, you can't even tell it says that. I'm only able to tell because I have this old China variant, but if you didn't know what it says, you just think that was that's just a black box with like yellow lines in it. So very disappointing that new China is still struggling with the decals. But I will say the flame looks good. A little bit. The flame design looks amazing. A little more heavy with the black border. Like I feel like the old China version didn't have that as much. Which I mean I don't mind, honestly. It looks kinda nice. Because the bolt dent transitions into flames, just like his Course 2 paint job, which is something he brought over from Course 3. With the gas cap and the Rusty's logo on the sides of both of them. The Lightning McQueen signature and the 95, which are covered up by his wonderful headset, which we'll get to in a little bit. We have the Rusty's logo on the spoiler, comparing that with the old China one. It is a little smaller and not as bright of a yellow. It's more of a faded yellow. And of course on the back we have the Rusty's Make Him Bubble 95 text. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think Old China did it a little better, especially with the 95. It just feels very natural with the paint job. This just feels like it was grabbed from like the internet and just slapped lazily because it just looks so blurry. And I think the 5's like a little cut off too, and it's a little too close to the medicated bubble ointment text for my liking. But whatever, it's whatever. This side it should be the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Now the headset, I think it's great, you know. It's very accurate to the scene he's in. You can see the little mouse with like the microphone connecting thing to his mouth, which is pretty good. Man, this guy just, I feel like in any pose you put him in, he looks great. He's gonna be really good for photography. So here is the base. We have Disney Pixar made in China. 3285 EAA, so the 328th day of 2025 at the EAA factory. And it does have the holes, so that made it with the new working token, which is pretty nice. I'm so glad they're keeping that consistent. And yeah, that about does it for McQueen headset. Such a good release. I mean, it's a shame, like I mentioned, that we're only getting this guy from the movies, but you know, it's a really good one. I'm so glad he finally got uncancelled, and we can finally recreate that final scene at the Florida 500. Just want to do a little bit more of a comparison with the normal costume McQueen. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, won't be surprised. Don't be surprised next year if they decide to do Fabulous Lightning McQueen headset, because like I mentioned, that one was also canceled. I think it was gonna be in the fan favorites line back in 2021, but then once the switch of China to Vietnam happened, it just got very messy very quickly. Here's some other closed headsets. We have Sterling Wood headset, which actually did come out in 2019, so I don't know why he came out first, but McQueen headset took like longer to come out. The headset's all a little different. Yeah, Sterling's headset obviously isn't as long, it's not nowhere near as mount, whereas McQueen's a little longer. Cool. And also, I want to show off Chick Hicks with the headset. Even though he didn't appear like this in the movie, it's probably based on a early like concept art that he was going to be an artisan reporter rather than just a TV show host. But I think it's pretty cool that we have McQueen and Chick with headsets. Now we just need the King with headset, and we can finally have the main three races with headsets. I think it's so cool. Now before we close up, I do want to briefly compare Rusty's Cruz to our old China variant. That's the wrong one. Oops, I just moved the camera. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, right is new China, left is new China, right is old China. So I'm confused today, but I will say the expression does look a little better. Her eyes are a little bigger and her mouth's colored in, so makes the expression a little better. Makes it look a little bit more lifelike rather than like looking like she wants to like stab you. The yellow is pretty much the same, and it's a little different on the new China one. I honestly would have liked it if they had the yellow trim on her, just like McQueen, because he's supposed to have the yellow trim. Again, track down which Cruz has it. I'm not gonna get into that debacle again, but yeah, the decals do actually do look a little brighter on this new China variant compared to the old China one, so up to them. The back should be, the back's pretty much the same. CRS on the back. Size is the same. I do like Rusty's Cruz a lot. You know, I think this design's very cool. It's just that she's been done so much that you can't blame people for getting slightly tired of her, especially in 2025 when they weren't doing Dynamic Cruz at all and just this one instead. So yeah, that about does it for the review of headset Cruz McQueen and a comparison of Rusty's Cruz Ramirez. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more upcoming content. See you all next time. Until then, this is Joe Quick Tire signing out.